To another live stream. Today I will be predicting the NFL playoffs. All right. So we have the second seed Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos, which are the seventh seed in the first wild card game, the AFC wild card game. I have the Bills winning that game and moving to the divisional round. Next game, Steelers at Ravens. Number six Steelers at number three Baltimore Ravens. A slight regression for the Baltimore Ravens in terms of seeding, but they're still an elite team. So I have them beating the Pittsburgh Steelers for the second straight time at home in the season. The fourth seed Houston Texans will host the number five seed and the returning for the first time since the 2020 or 2021 playoffs. The Los Angeles Chargers with their new head coach, the former Niners head coach, Jim Harbaugh. I have the Chargers winning against the Texans because no Tank Dell, there's only Nico Collins and no Stephon Diggs, who tore his ACL. I think against the Colts, that's when his ACL tear happened. And then the Chiefs popped, you know, Tank Dell's kneecap at this point. So let's go over to the wild card round on the NFC. First wild card game, number seven Green Bay Packers at the number two Philadelphia Eagles. Let me fix this camera a little bit. All right. What happened? What just happened to that? Predict. All right, here we go. The number seven seeded Packers will travel to the number two seeded Philadelphia Eagles. I have the Eagles and Saquon Barkley winning this game. Packers are no match. They lost to Christian Watson to an ACL tear. I think the last game of the regular season. Week one rematch. The number three Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the number six seed Washington Commanders. I have the Bucks winning the rematch and moving on to the divisional round. The rematch of the face maskless will happen. Sam Darnold and the number five seed, 14-3, Minnesota Vikings will travel on the road to take on the 10-7 or 11-6 Los Angeles, 10-7 Los Angeles Rams. I have the Minnesota Vikings advancing to the divisional round, beating the Los Angeles Rams. Let's go to the AFC side of the divisional playoffs. I have the Kansas City Chiefs, number one seed, hosting the number five seed, Jim Harbaugh, in his second playoff game since his return. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Los Angeles Chargers and advancing to the AFC Championship for like the gajillionth time. All right. Number two seed Buffalo Bills versus or host yeah, they're hosting the number three seed Baltimore Ravens in a divisional round. Lamar Jackson could be back-to-back MVP, three-time MVP before Mahomes, or Allen could be the MVP of the regular season. Maybe Burrow could be, but he's not in the playoffs. But Allen has had a career high in everything, even without Stephon Diggs. So what I would say, oh yeah, Derrick Henry's on the Ravens. So I have the Ravens beating the Bills for a second time in as many weeks to advance to the AFC Championship game to play the number one seed, Kansas City Chiefs, in a AFC Championship rematch. But we'll get back to that later. The NFC divisional round kicks off. The number one seed, Detroit Lions, host the number five seed, Minnesota Vikings. Game one was close. Lions snuck by. Game two, Lions blew out the Vikings right off the water. Goff had two interceptions, but Jimmy Gibbs carried the Lions. David Montgomery was out in game two, but he'll be back for the divisional round. Alex Anzalone returned against the Vikings last week, if I remember correctly. And also, a few key players for the Lions would be back. So I'll have the Lions advancing to their second consecutive NFC Championship game in Jared Goff and hosting it for the first time as a first seed in Detroit. All right. The number two seed, Philadelphia Eagles, take on the team that blew them out in week two, or whatever week it was. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Mike Evans. Baker Mayfield had a career year after he had a career year last year. So I see the, you know, Philadelphia Eagles getting their revenge on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for what happened earlier in the season. Plus, the Bucks were having trouble against the Saints. If let's say the Falcons won, the Falcons would have been the number four seed, not the number three seed because of the record. The Rams would have been the three seed, and the Rams still would have not beaten the Eagles. We all know that. So AFC Championship number one seed, Kansas City Chiefs host for the first time since the 2022 playoffs or 2023 playoffs. They host the AFC Championship game, but for back-to-back seasons, they play the Ravens, who wants revenge for their 7-point loss in last year's AFC Championship game, and they also want revenge for what happened earlier on in week one when the Chiefs hosted them in the AFC Championship rematch. I have the number three seeded Baltimore Ravens making it all the way to the Super Bowl to face. Let's do the NFC Championship game. I'll be there for the Super Bowl. I'll return for my Super Bowl prediction after the NFC Championship. Number one, Detroit Lion. Number one seed, Detroit Lion, host the number two seeded Philadelphia Eagles. I have the number one seeded Detroit Lions making it to their first ever Super Bowl to face the Baltimore Ravens. Let me give you my reason. Lions are like a well-rested team. They only played two playoff games. Their defense is outstanding, ran by Aaron Glenn, right? So the blitzes would be tough for Hurts. Plus, they got Saquon Barkley in Philly. But Saquon's 2,000 yards will not be forgotten. But it's not going to be enough against the Lions pass rush with Zadarius Smith. I think also they said that if they made it to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, Aiden Hutchinson would be back for his first game since week three against the Dallas Cowboys, where he snapped his leg, I think, or broke an ankle. Yeah, where he broke his ankle, I think. So he would return this game and help empower his Detroit Lions to the win. And then we have the Super Bowl. AFC champion, new AFC champion. This guy has prevented a Mahomes three-peat for the first time. So there will be no three-peat in NFL history. There's only two-peat between the 49ers who went back-to-back, Chiefs who went back-to-back, Patriots who went back-to-back, and I think another team went back-to-back, but I don't know. Um, so number one seed Detroit Lions will host the number three seed Baltimore Ravens. But there's no Cooper DeJean on this Detroit Lions team. I have Derrick Henry running for like I have Derrick Henry having a big game. Lamar tossing three touchdowns, rushing for one. Derrick goes for two touchdowns on the ground, over 150 yards rushing. Lamar gets over 250 passing yards, three passing touchdowns. Lions make it close at the end. I think it'll be a 45-42 game. Goff and Lamar will have like a big game, back and forth game. But the only thing that separates the Lions from coming back and winning this is a pick that Goff would throw in the second or third quarter. So, with that being said, I have Lamar winning the 2025 Super Bowl, 2024-2025 Super Bowl for the 2024 regular season. Ravens have done it. They have conquered Patrick Mahomes, the three-time Super Bowl champion, and Lamar is a one-time Super Bowl champion. Josh Allen tried, but he couldn't. So here we are. This is my prediction. Ravens are your Super Bowl champions. Let's see if I'm right in a matter of weeks. I hope I'm right. With that being said, I'll see you on another live stream, maybe a reaction video, and deuces.